Yo guys, and welcome to the first ever episode of the FC Nürnberg Career Mode in Germany. We'll be playing in the second division of Germany. And FC Nürnberg, you might not know this, but they've actually won the Bundesliga title 9 times. And now they're actually playing in the Bundesliga 2. So we are trying to get back into the first Bundesliga and win another title to make it 10 titles for FC Nürnberg. And I believe they're actually the second in Germany to win the most titles. After Bayern, they have got something like 30 or something like that. Something really, really mad. But this is the team. You can watch for yourself. But I will say that this Brugstelle guy has some amazing stats. He's not slow, not really rapid. But he is plus 70 pace. But also very, very strong. And he has great stamina. Then we have Fulgroup. He's one of our players as well. And for the rest of the team, you can just watch it yourself. Be careful with thinking about players, because you might say, like, he's shit, why don't you replace him? But for this league, most of these players are actually pretty decent. A lot of our players can take good long shot as well. Quite a few players have the long shot taker trait as well. So we'll definitely be scoring some long shots this season. Maybe only 1 or 2, you never know. But we should be able to score some long shot, and I was able to do that with the Stoke City career mode. So let's see if I can do it in this career mode. But their nickname is Der Club because they're one of the original clubs in Germany and one of the clubs that was really, really good back in the days, especially in the 50s. I think they came pretty close to winning a Champions League, or however, I think it was called Europa Cup 1 back in the day. I think they've been pretty close to winning it. And not too long ago they were playing in the Bundesliga and they weren't the worst of teams, but now they're somehow playing in the Bundesliga too, so we're trying to get them back and try to make sure that they will be one of the greatest teams in Germany once again, after not winning a title for over 50 years, I believe. Because it's definitely been a long time ago. I think it's 1954 that they won their last league title. By the way, this Barons guy is really, really good, you will see. I've already played some matches with this team, and they've got a lot of good players, but also really some players that I really need to improve, especially the fullbacks in this team. We have only gotten 2, so we definitely need a replacement. I will talk about the player that I will be using at the left back position in a minute, but this guy is Stieber, and he is actually a loanee, but he is one of the better players in this team, so we will be using him. And he's also our how do you call them, corner kick taker and free kick taker as well. But this guy is the captain, Brachko, and he is already 31 years old, so we definitely need to replace him, or at least buy someone who can be a backup and eventually grow to become better. Hofland is a great center back, by the way. Look at his stats, especially his mental and physical stats are amazing. But there's definitely some improvement left in this team. Also, the goalkeeper is already 36 years old. He will be retiring after this season. So we need a new one after this season. But for now, he can go there. But he's only got 18 stamina. Even for a goalkeeper, that's pretty mad. But still, he should be usable. He's a goalkeeper. He doesn't need great stamina. And yeah, it's a decent team. It's definitely able to do some work, get some points in the Bundesliga too, because this is of course not the greatest of competitions. It's not the worst, definitely not. I think it's on quite a high level still, but definitely need some improvement before we can win this league and go into the Bundesliga. And Bulta is very, very strong, but with very bad acceleration. Actually, sprint speed is way more than acceleration. I believe it's... No, it's not double. It's not double. For a minute I thought it was double, but my maths are just awful. But it's not very far off double. But still, we need to be able to use centre-backs like these, especially if we have a limited amount of money. We have 725k of transfer budget and something like 25,000 of wages, so not the biggest amount of money to spend. And Bulta, by the way, has great strength, as you can see, and great aggression. He's sort of a tanky center back, which can just get everyone off the ball, just push them over, make sure they're not even coming close to the ball again. And that's why it will be very good for not really the best of standing tackles and sliding tackles and all that stuff. But this is the left back I was talking about. He's actually a left mid, but I liked him more when I was using this team in head-to-head. Because he's got some more pace and also some better on-ball stats. And his defending is definitely not bad for a left mid. So we will be using him at the left back position. He can even play CDM. Like, how are you actually a left mid that can play at CDM and left back? I don't see how your main position is left mid, because left mid for me always seems to be one of a more attacking position. And this guy is definitely defensive minded. And we're now going to look at the players that we want to be selling. So we've gotten a very, very low rated centre back in Özdemir. And he is going onto the transfer list. He will be going for about 150k hopefully. And as you can see, we there have the two fullbacks, but of course we're playing Leibold at left back, and that Sepsi guy is actually high rated. We'll show his stats really quickly right here, but I don't think he's better in game, and he's already 28 years old. Leibold's only 21, I believe. So Leibold can also grow on to be a higher rating. And another position we need some changes is the CDM. We have got quite a lot of CMs, but they're not really high potential, or most of them actually are CDMs who are more suitable to the centre back position. I just think they have pushed them up to CDM in real life because they are short of CDM. So we will be trying to buy a new CDM. And Mike OTT, over the top through ball, is going to be sold as well. Mike Ott from the Philippines is definitely not good enough. Like, the Philippines isn't a great footballing nation, so I'm not expecting him to have high potential. Nevertheless, despite being only 20 years old, he was only 60 rated or something like that. Jan Polak I wanted to sell, but I then thought like this might be a club legend and people might get mad. I will keep him for at least this season, but he won't probably get too much playing time. The same, Robert Kork might be a club legend, but he is just too unusable. He's 29 years old, 64 rated. Was gonna put him into the transfer list for sure. Knesevic was gonna also list for transfer. Father wanted to loan him out first, but then I thought like he doesn't have the greatest potential. And Teushet, I also put it onto the transfer list. And these are the players from the starting 11 or for the starting team that I want to train. Murwald I'm training because he's a cam. Fulkirk I just want to get to 70. Leibold, his defending needs to improve a little bit. And then you have Eras, he's a central defensive mid, but I rather would play him in centre back because he's got very, very low pace and not good dribbling. Petrak, a bit of the same story, and I'm actually pretty sure he used to be a centre back in the day. And by the way, we're just going through these games. I just want to introduce the career mode whilst you are seeing some things happen, like simulating games where we drew 1-1 and some trainings happening. But Petrak is also someone who used to play at centre back, but I think he's also very, very usable at the CDM spot. But his dribbling needs to improve, but we're also trying to buy a real CDM. And we're just going to go through some games, not really focusing on transfer business right now. Just want to get that additional funds injected into our team. And these are the 3 teams we had in our group. And we think we win this match with like 2-0. Yes, we did. We did get a red card, so Halfland was actually suspended for the entire tournament with 2 matches left to go. Potentially, despite on a win. But Cloud Achampong is a right back from Sassuolo, who's not the highest of ratings, but he is a very, very high potential. He's 61 rated, but with 83 potential. We offered 300k for him to see if he can come and join our team. And then one of our other centre backs got injured in that match against Blackburn Rovers, which we won on penalties, by the way. So we're going through to the final. That's the only game today I will be playing. But I'm trying to go through this very, very fast because I just want to show you what's going on in this team. Because otherwise the first season is going to get boring because we're not playing the most hardest of matches. And this one is just because I wanted to get the additional funds very, very badly. And as you can see, a lot of players are actually... well, actually not a lot. Mark Ryder and just Shaver are retired. And Shaver is just tired because of the 80 stamina. And Mark Ryder because he just came back from an injury. But I can't play Hofland and we don't have any other centre backs. And no, I have CDMs, I told you about him, that can play at centre back. And by the way, for the first time ever, we're already playing in a big stadium. But to be honest, that doesn't mean anything because it isn't the hardest thing to do if you're playing in the preseason tournaments. But still, we are playing at the Old Trafford against, I think, a Belgian side which we faced in our own group in the last match. So we should be beating them because we won that game 2-0. I don't know what the team is called, but like they should be decent, but we should be better, assuming we've already beaten them once with 2-0. And I'm just gonna let the gameplay go by it, and as soon as something is actually starting to happen, because I know when things are gonna get real and we're gonna get very, very interesting, I will start talking about the gameplay itself. But for now, I'm just gonna let it go, just introducing the team a bit more. So on the bench, we've got quite some players, but most of them are pretty old, or actually a loanee. We have Sebastian Kerk on the bench, which is a left mid with okay stats, but he's not really a player I want to use because he's a loanee, and I rather play my own players, except for Stierbel, because he's very, very high rated. By the way, look at this shot for Fulkrug. Oh my god, my German, by the way, isn't the bestest. What is that even for a word? My German, by the way, isn't even the best, but I should be able to pronounce most of the names because I do have German lessons at school. So I have probably learned how to pronounce these sort of names, but my languages are just not the best, and I'm lucky that I do a bilingual education, which is the reason why I can do these videos in English. But I might ruin my German sometimes. But yeah, we didn't get the most of money, but from this tournament we could win like 2 million euros. Or I don't know, I think I'm playing on sterling, so there will be 2 million pounds. So yeah, I'm playing on sterling. And maybe should have changed to euros because we're now playing in Germany radio. You're using the euros. But shouldn't be the biggest of issues. By the way, I can already tell you this. Our home ground is not renamed or anything. It's the Odromo. It's one of those standard FIFA 16 stadiums for clubs that don't have their actual stadium in the game. But we have to live with that. I tried to change it actually, but that didn't work out. And this chance is just absolutely wasted by Petrak. But yeah, so we're playing in the Odromo, and it looks pretty similar to the teams, to Nürnberg's actual stadium, but still, it would be much better when we could have picked the stadium ourselves and renamed it at least to the Stadion, because that's the name the stadium has in real life. But for some reason, I think it's a mistake in my PlayStation or in the files, because I can't change the name of the stadiums. But we're still drawing 0-0, and as you can see, we're getting a lot of chances in this match, and this was the final chance I think this was the final chance we're going to get in this match, with Danny Bloom, who went on to goal. He's one of the substitutes, by the way, that's very, very good. He's a more pacey striker, and he is a bit low rated than Fulkrug. I have to, like, that name is actually gonna ruin my videos. I'm actually gonna have to try that after this video, how to pronounce his name, and I'm not gonna do it live commentary until we get into the Bundesliga, because then the big matches come up, and in the big matches I feel like you should play with live commentary, but for this season I don't think it's too big enough an issue. And yeah, that's just the reason why we're doing this post-com, and also doing this video is a little bit quick, because I get really bored of the first season, and if I get bored, the career mode videos start to get boring after a while. So I want to do it quick so that I don't get bored, you don't get bored, and you keep watching to a career mode that's hopefully going to be fun. And that I just said that was going to be the last chance. That was definitely not true, because we're getting another chance on with Burgstaller in this occasion. And wasn't a bare mistake, the shot, good save by the goalkeeper. Gislason tried to boot it back into the starting 11. What the hell am I talking about? Into the box for someone to tap it in, and it was going to end 0-0, so that means we have to go to penalty. We had 22 shots and 11 on target. Now, a lot of shots on target were outside the box, but still, you should be able to score one. But we have to go to penalties, and this is where I will be commentating over the gameplay. And after this, we'll do some more transfer business, and I will talk about what's going down in this career mode. And it was our opponents started with the penalty kicks. I still don't know the name. I'd probably just seen it on screen, but I didn't read it. And they started with a great penalty from Michel. And then it was a Fulkrug to step up. And he actually can't score it. The keeper saves it. And then they step up with this Viola guy. Viola is going to the right, but a bit too far to the right. Actually, way too far to the right. And here's the Sebastian Kerk. He's an actual ginger. And you will probably notice him when we're playing, because he is the only ginger in this team. But still, that's the Loney I was talking about. Pretty nice young talent, but he's not ours. And if I can buy him, I wouldn't buy him as my talent. If we had him, it would have been okay. But he's a Loney, so I'm not gonna buy him if his loan runs out. But then we both missed a penalty, both on our opponents and Stieber. And then it was Koulibaly to make it 2-1 on penalties. But we still had the penalty to take to come up to the same amount of penalties. And Burgstaller with an amazing penalty into the top right makes it 2-2. And this is where things are going to get serious. Marquette now with a penalty. And he hits the post. He hits the right post. Was going for the right corner. Now it stayed in the middle. But it wasn't going to matter because it was a miss. And now it was Berens who could have finished the match. And he's going to try that with a Panenka, I believe. No, he didn't. Okay, that looked really, really dumb. Me saying what's going to be in Panenka without it being in Panenka. But then they hit the post again. And after missing that chance, it was now a Murat to step up. And he is going to take a Panenka. But the keeper stays down the middle and is going to save it. I've ruined the chance to take this game home 2 times now. And they are going to miss it again because I stayed down the middle. And now it's actually the captain, Brachko, to take the penalty. And the captain is, of course, the one to finish it off. We have won the preseason tournament. Great victory to us. And yeah, I'm just gonna let the rest run out. We've gotten something like 1 million or something like that from this preseason tournament. Of course, it makes the team sharp. I've now felt the team, how it plays in an actual competitive match. And we are now going to be able to make some transfers, some bit more transfers, and maybe sign up a youth scout as well. That will be something very useful, especially if we can get a good goalkeeper talent. That would be great. But this tournament definitely helped out, and the captain has finished up for us. But we needed a CDM. Even the board told us to buy a CDM. So the guy I was trying to get was Kevin Balanta, a 1 million transfer fee offered, but they weren't going to react. It was actually a Jampong who reacted, and he wanted to join our team. So we're going to take a look at his stats. And here they are. Not the greatest of physical stats. He is not too slow. And something I love about taking a low rated player is if you train them and they get to high rating, they might, I'm saying they might, like he has 83 potential. So when he gets to 83, he will probably be good already. He will stay on the bench right away. But if you train him up, he can get ridiculous stats for his rating. Like he might get 83, but he might have like all 80s if you train him well. And might have like 90 defending for just the reason that they go up by a lot of stats by when growing to a high rating. And they have a lot of space to grow, so they could grow in a lot of stats and get ridiculous stats. That's just something which happens a bit more with lower rated players with high potential. But it could not happen. It could be a shit transfer, to be honest, because you're taking a little bit of a risk with a low rated player. But 2 times we had to make a counter offer for Kevin Balanta. We're eventually going to pay 2.35 million for Kevin Balanta. And he declined that first contract, which was exactly what he wanted. But he wants even more money, to be honest. Like, why are you not saying that you want 3,000 a week when you're not accepting 2.7? But that's going to be the end of the episode. In the next episode, we'll be looking if we can actually sign up Kevin Balanta. And we probably should. He should accept that 3,000 contract, to be honest. And in this episode, we went through it really quickly. And that will be the case for the next episode as well. I've already edited that one, so that will be a bit of a rushed episode. But that's just because I want to get the first episodes out and then just get through those gameplay. Because I think with these first seasons, the gameplay is the thing that gets fun. And what we're also going to be doing is trying to get some players from the youth scout or from the youth academy to be already very good. Because the earlier we get them in a road to glory career mode like this, they have more of a chance to becoming club legends and get to a higher rating. Because normally if you get them in a career mode where you're only doing 2 or 3 seasons, they have not the time to grow, and this career mode we're hopefully gonna do something like 4 or 5 seasons. That would be great, maybe even more if we need to, and then we could create some actual club legends with the youth academy. And I haven't seen a lot of people do that this year on YouTube. Like normally it's something where people get very hyped for those actual legends that the club has created themselves, but haven't seen it all too much. So let's see if we can do that. And if you enjoyed this video, I'm excited for this new series, bringing FC Nürnberg back into the first Bundesliga and competing with teams like Bayern München for the title. That would be great. If you then can drop a like, then I can see if you actually are excited, and subscribe so you won't be missing any videos. If you all do that, I will be very appreciated. But for now, I'm gonna leave it right here. I hope I will see you in the next episode. So goodbye.